Good morning! Yes! Got there in the end. Sorry that took an extraordinary amount of time for us to get started with the show this morning. A couple of technical problems. I moved to Liverpool. Not full-time, but just moved all my kit to Liverpool. And yeah, anyway, you don't need to get into the details of it, but just big apologies for starting so late this morning. It's just all about getting everything set up, and also I'm in the same room that my dad's in, and he suffers from dementia, and when the carers are here I can't get set up. So yes, all good now. I've got me coffee, I've got some water, I got my stream deck, but it's not on because it's not set up for the laptop, but we can still have confetti, we can still do confetti. I just can't press a button, which is the exciting way to do it. So what I'm going to do is quickly set up the goal before we go any further. Confetti for all. Don't be meffy, get some confetti. So yes, my dad seems to be talking over there. He wants to get involved. So I'm just going to say a big hi to people in the chat. We've got Martin Harrow in there. We've got Andy. We have Witchy Goth. We've got Diz. We've got Elle. We've got Francis Winrow. We have got Saz in there as well. We've got Stu the Bearded, Band of Hard Japs. We've got GM Lovely. Oh, this is really nice. Lots of lovely people in the chat. If you want to join them, all you need to do is hit the subscribe button and wait for a minute, and then you can put things in the chat. But don't be a troll, or we will mute you and boot you. So today we're going to be talking about, well, first of all, the US-UK trade deal, the drug deal, which new analysis from the NHS suggests that NHS medicine costs could divert £44.7 billion from services and contribute to 229,000 excess deaths in England by 2036. Yeah, so we'll get into that in a moment. There's also been a major attack by Russia last night on Kyiv. It's killed at least 13 people and injured about 90. Meanwhile, the US-Iran talks, the indirect talks at Doha. I mean, I can assume that indirect talks are like, you know, when you're having an argument with someone and they're in the room and you say to somebody else, tell them that I said I don't forgive them, and then they have to turn around and say, they say they don't forgive you. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I'm assuming they sit down, the Doha, the Qatari negotiators, they sit down with one group and then they say, okay, this is what do you want us to tell the other group? And they go over and tell the other group whatever. Oh, Sarah Davis, thank you so much for the £2 super chat. That is very kind of you. If I find my super chat button, where's my shoot? Oh, there it is. Super chat, super chat, super chat, super chat, super chat. I hope I'm loud enough. By the way, I've got me mic, got my little travel mic. To be honest with you, I could have brought my main mic with me. Maybe I should have just done that. But I think packing stuff up and putting it away and carrying it in a box or a backpack across the country and then setting it all up again, it's probably not good for the kit. All this moving. Anyway, so yeah, we're also going to be talking about the UK business confidence, business morale has fallen to its lowest level since late 2022. We're also going to be talking about Burnham's defence gap. Starmer's defence plan leaves Andy Burnham facing a £4.7 billion funding shortfall and what can be done about that. Forced adoption apology. So Starmer has issued a formal state apology to mothers and children harmed by historic adoption policies. Also, Starmer says racism and intolerance have worsened over the last decade since the Brexit vote. Clearly they have. That's why, you know, anyone who's white who voted for Brexit should hang their heads in shame. But anyone who's not white who voted for Brexit, what the fuck, man? Like, seriously, why would you vote for something that empowers racists? We've also got the Europe heat wave. The latest heat wave has shown how far across Europe has shown how far climate adaptation lags behind emission targets. We've also got the Russian fuel shortages because of the Ukrainian strikes on refineries and depots, and we've also got the NATO capability gaps to talk about. This is European allies are expected to fill most gaps left by reduced US contribution to NATO defence plans. So, Francis Winrow, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. That is very kind of you. For Dizz's Fix. And then Martin is there as well. Halfway there already. Excellent. £2 super chat. Thank you. Thank you. Goddamn YouTube didn't start the stream automatically. Missed the first 15 minutes. Shakes fist at Google. Don't worry, you didn't miss the first 15 minutes because I didn't start till about 5 minutes ago. So you haven't missed much. You probably just watch it on double speed. Well, I talk like this very quickly. Hello. So yes, welcome one, welcome all. You wonderful, wonderful people to the show. So first of all, we're going to talk about the UK-US drug deal. Drug deal. This is what happens when you do drug deals with drug dealers like Donald Trump, who's a drug dealer because he's dealing drugs, and he's going to be hiking up the prices of life-saving medicines so that they can make more money in America out of medicine, because that's what they need to do. Because what they've done in America, you know, like the way that everything that was bad about this country has been blamed on migrants, single mothers, the European Union, trans people, etc. In America, specifically, their medicine system, their medical system, is so tragically awful, and it has such horrific outcomes for American people. Even if it does manage to save your life, you're saddled with thousands and tens of thousands of dollars of debt forever, which can never be written off. But you know, go set up a GoFundMe and hope you've got, you know, a bit of a personality, or you're nice to look at, or you got a good enough sob story. The GoFundMe-ication of medication. Anyway, so yeah, one of the things they do now is say, no, it's not the system's fault. The system's working perfectly. The fault is actually, if you think about it, actually, the problem is actually that Britain and other countries get our drugs too cheap. They should be giving us more money for our drugs. They should be paying the same that we are. Now, the reason why we don't pay as much for their drugs is we have special rules put in place. We have NICE, which gives guidelines on which drugs we are going to sell and which drugs we won't sell. And the NHS has, over the years, done deals with American drug companies, because the deal is this, right? You can either sell us this stuff at a reasonable price, or, tell you what, we just won't buy it. And so for years, Americans just got made do with that, you know. Saz, thank you very much for the £2 super chat. That is very kind of you. Might as well join in. Yes, you might as well join in, you wonderful person. Oh, do you know what? I've done it again. I keep on this setup on my laptop. I keep tapping on the thing, you know, to say play animation, and it tries to change the name of the animation. And I'm like, no, don't do that. Anyway, remember, folks, 58% of welfare bill is spent on state pensions and other pensionable benefits. Yes. If the drug manufacturers want to be utter shits to us, then we should stop upholding their patents. Yes, Andy. But then they'll stop upholding ours, you see. This is the problem. Tit for tat. And it's who's got the bigger muscle. This is why trade wars just always screw people over more than the rich that, you know, try and get us to do this. Deals with companies, not the administration. Yeah. If it's expensive to get treatment, then people will take less risks and hurt less. The libertarian argument, as is the usual, completely contradicted by reality. Yeah, if it's expensive to get treatment, then people will take fewer risks. Oh, come on. Like, that is... I mean, obviously it's a ridiculous argument, but it's painfully stupid. It's just really naive. It just doesn't encompass the gamut of human, you know, life, emotions, the way we are. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to make you ill. Most people injure themselves falling over at home. They went competing in the fucking extreme sports Olympics. They went jumping off a building or jumping out of a plane, or, you know, they were literally just... Oh, Viper Scott, thank you very much. Confetti time for Diz. Oh, that is very, very kind of you. And it also means my mouse isn't working very well. It also means that I am at liberty. So first of all, I'll give you a super chat thing. Why is my mouse not? Hang on a second. Just turn my pad over so it's not. Oh, that's a bit better. It's moving around now. Oh no, it's still a bit crap. Okay, never mind. It does give me great pleasure to go 3, 2, 1. Oh, again. Yay! Confetti! 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 Confetti. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed the confetti. There's more of that. More of that where that came from. I'm going to stop using my mouse. My mouse is doing that thing where you move your mouse and the cursor doesn't move. And then it moves really far. It takes a second to think about it. God. Uncontrollable it is. Just wondering why it's doing this. According to the universal healthcare haters on Quora, if healthcare isn't expensive, people will injure themselves for shit and giggles. Yeah, because that's what people do, isn't it? Isn't that is just crazy, isn't it? Like something that has never been seen in the whole history of humanity. Yeah, that's going to happen. We've had the NHS free at the point of delivery since the late 40s. And do people in the UK injure themselves more? No, they don't, because injuring yourself hurts. Also going to point out that since 2010, MP salaries have increased by 32k, while the minimum wage has only increased by 12k in the same time frame. Yeah, Chrissy. Although if you're talking about absolute percentages, that might be the same. But yeah, sorry, not absolute percent, but you're talking about percentages rather than absolute figures. Andy, because here's the thing, ... twats, says Tiz. I imagined I'd never manage to dislocate my elbow, and yet I wasn't planning on it. Well, yeah, that's the thing. That's just a weird argument, isn't it? So they say that we're driving up the prices of their medicine, which isn't true. What drives up the price of their medicine is insurance. Like going through insurance companies that need to make absolute fucking fortunes every day of the week. That's what's driving up those prices there. They'll never admit to that, though, you know. But yeah, so the deal agreed by Starmer's government and Trump's administration requires the UK to pay 25% more for new medicines. And NHS spending on innovative therapies is due to rise from 0.3% of GDP to 0.6% of GDP by 2036. Researchers estimate this could divert £44.7 billion from NHS services by 2036 unless extra funding is provided. Sorry, I'm just gonna take a little USB thing out and put it in here. This is from a mouse. It doesn't seem to be working very well in the thing that I put it in. Sorry, I've got cables coming out the kazoo here. Wazoo! Yeah, whatever. I like saying kazoo. I also get in trouble for saying Westminster instead of Westminster. But there was a guy called Billy West who was a minister in the government, and that's who I'm talking to. I'm talking about the minister called West. Actually, no, he's a member of the clergy. Member of the clergy. You know Billy West. Everyone knows Billy West. I haven't, brother of Fred, I haven't worked out the percentage, Graham, and I'm too tired to even attempt to. Fair enough. I have a surgery on a busted shoulder, and it's the most fun I've had with all my clothes on. Yes, indeed. Indeed. It is just like the weirdest. They come up with the weirdest arguments. Like you say that Farage has taken all this money for gold and you know, from crypto and stuff, and then you get this thing, and the starry-eyed acolytes of the previous leader of Labour are exactly the same about this. They're like, Trump lives rent-free in your head, Farage lives rent-free in your head, and I'm like, nah, pretty sure it's just the shit that's going on, and I'm commenting on the people who are leading the fucking world at the moment. This isn't like harping on about a girlfriend that you split up with like 20 years ago, still today. It's not quite like waking up in the middle of the night covered in a cold sweat because trans people exist. You know, that's living rent-free in your head. But no, commenting on gobshites doing gobshitey things. No. Oh, you know, they report in the newspapers that someone's gone out and murdered 5 people, and you put a news story up about it. Oh God, that murderer is living rent free in your head. You're like, no, they've just done this thing and it's shit. So I'm doing a video, I'm doing a post saying this is shit. You know, like if I was writing stuff about what shit Nigel Lawson was, or Jeffrey Hurd. Was it Jeffrey Hurd? Something like that. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Politicians from 40 years ago, yeah. Maybe if it's still banging on about Thatcher every other day, maybe you can make an argument. But if someone who's in a position of power does something shit, or someone in the public eye does something shit, and you comment on the news, that's not living rent-free in your head. That's literally going, this person just did this thing. I think it's shit. No, I think it's great. You know, you never get that when you say something's good, do you? You know, like, oh, did you see the new Christopher Nolan film? Oh, Christopher Nolan's living rent-free in your head. No. Yeah. Oh, no, my keyboard's not working now. Let me take my battery out. Shit. Let me take my battery out. Okay, there we go. Okay, what have we got here? A criminal who's a clear and present danger to you and everyone else isn't living rent-free in your head. Yes. Yeah. Taking the cat to the vet is a taste of Forager's plan for healthcare for people. Grandma is too expensive, time to put her down. Yeah. As long as he makes... The thing is, though, he doesn't care. We have to acknowledge this, right? Same with Trump. They don't give a fuck either way. As long as they're making money, they don't care. They have no morals. They have no vision of the future. They are just living in the here and now, making money. That's all they care about. That's all they'll ever care about. They don't care about you or me, the country, NATO, the EU. They don't care about any of that. Nigel Farage never gave a flying fuck about the EU. It was just a nice little gravy train for him to plonk him and his wife and his mistress on, while he kept all of the benefits of us being so close to Europe, and we lost them. The rest of us lost. We lost them. Anyway, so this the researchers have estimated, right, that this new trade deal on drugs is going to divert £44.7 billion from NHS services by 2036, unless extra funding is provided. And the knock-on effect on adult social care, if that's added on, we could see about 230,000 excess deaths. Sorry, if you're just talking about excess deaths in hospitals, you're talking about 229,000 excess deaths predicted. But if the impact on social care, adult social care, is included, that rises to 291,000 excess deaths. That is crazy. Now, the government said that the £45 billion figure is not recognised, and argues that the deal will improve access to new medicines. And don't forget, this is only about new medicines, not about medicines that already exist. It's only on stuff that the America's got the patent on. And the Department of Health and Social Care says the deal will be funded through spending review allocations and will later be settled in the next review. So the key question we've got to ask here is whether the NHS is being asked to absorb higher drug prices without ring-fenced extra money, which looks like it is at the moment. It's like, oh yeah, it's a problem for another day. Maybe this is just another poison pill for Starmer to lay down for Burnham to deal with. I don't know. The rich see the rest of us as livestock or ballast. Yeah, that's very true. Or cash machine. I mean, Donald Trump's, we know that he's made at least 1.4 billion in last year from being president. And there was a report into all of his business dealings, and it ran into 800 pages. Right, just to give you some context on that, the report into Biden's spending was 11 pages, or money coming into Biden. 11 pages. 11. That's declarations of gifts and stuff like that. Dignitary turns up and gives them a gold pen or whatever. 11 pages. Trump, 800. They're just in it for the money. They're just in it for the money. Also, someone who's in it for the money is Vladimir Putin, another guy. He has no ideals. He has no moral compass. He has no qualms with just murdering innocent people or guilty people. He doesn't give a fuck either way. He just wants to stay in power, because we talked about Elon Musk a couple of weeks ago becoming the world's first trillionaire. He's not. He's not. Vladimir Putin's been a trillionaire for a long time now. That guy is the Russian state. He is the Russian state. Hey, Viper Scott, thank you so much for the £5. Sorry, the £5. The 5 Hughes of the World gift memberships. That's very kind of you. And now Drainy and Witchy Goth. Hey, Witchy Goth. And Rosa Crooks and NZ Guru and Agent Cooper 8 have now been gifted memberships, which is very exciting and very cool. So thank you for that, and welcome new members to the channel. Ugh, if my mouse would work. Let's use my trackpad. Welcome to the channel. Oh my god, what is... Oh no, it's doing the same thing again. Stop it. Sorry, my computer just hates me today. It just really hates me. Welcome new members. Here we go. Hey! Finally got it up, as the actress said to the bishop. Okay, so thanks very much for that, Alistair. It's very kind of you. We're talking about Vladimir Putin. So Russia launched 74 missiles and 496 drones last night during a major attack. Ukrainian officials say at least 13 people were killed, 90 people injured. Residential buildings and civilian areas were damaged. Again, this shows what Russia is trying to do to Ukraine, is to kill as many civilians as possible and sap away the morale, whereas the Ukrainians are a lot more targeted when they attack Russia and they take out oil refineries. They don't shoot, they don't drop bombs on schools or hospitals or into residential blocks. Ukrainian air defenses intercepted many incoming weapons, but officials said that 25 ballistic missiles and 12 drones hit 33 targets. Russia has said the strike targeted military and energy facilities, and Moscow has described the attack as retaliation for Ukrainian strikes on Russian infrastructure. Well, you know that Ukraine wouldn't have done that if you hadn't invaded their country and started killing and raping and murdering and torturing the Ukrainian people. Yeah. Volodymyr Zelensky is again pressing allies for more air defense systems. Pretty Kate machine, you need to tweak those buttons better. No, it's not there. It's my mouse. It's this little bloody wireless mouse that I'm using. It's a piece of shit. I don't know what's happening. I was thinking that it's plugged in next to a USB-C. I think that the USB-C is just farting out too much electricity, and it's messing up the signal a little bit somehow. I don't know. That sometimes happens. Mention same system as vets, and the public will freak out about private healthcare. It won't wash here. Witchy Goth. It won't wash here. Maybe in America, yeah, but the having the same system as the vets in the UK, that's what they want. And there's a group that's just going around buying veterinary surgeries around the country, like, hedge funds and stuff like that. They're not interested in animal welfare. They're just interested in making a shitload of money. By the way, anyone who uses WhatsApp, a little bit of announcement. So they are changing WhatsApp. So finally, you can get a username for it. So obviously, I've Bagseed at Graham David Hughes. This is being rolled out over the next few days and weeks. Update WhatsApp if you can, and you should get this offer to reserve your username, and then we should be able to set up a Hughes the World WhatsApp group. And all of the members on this channel will be invited to it. So if you are a member of this channel, you'll be able to join the WhatsApp group and share funny shit with each other. It's going to be a bit like the Discord, but less of a ball ache. I'm sorry, I do find Discord a ball ache. There's just too many things going on. It kind of discombobulates me. I'm on loads of different servers, and it's just too much. Do you know what it reminds me of? Fucking MySpace. No offense to MySpace, but you know when you used to go to someone's MySpace page and it was just like cluttered, it was just like too much, so I'd rather just have one sort of conversation going on WhatsApp. But the downside of this is it appears at the same time that they've updated their terms of service, and now they're going to be supplying us with adverts. Yes, adverts are going to be appearing in WhatsApp. So yeah, I'll see how much of that I can take before I sack it off and go to Signal or Telegram or something. But yeah, wireless mouse keyboards are the worst. Well, you know, that doesn't the worse than cancer, but yeah, fair enough. I always get people ringing me up complaining that the mouse is not working. I'll answer the same every time, change the battery. Mine's Apple keyboard. The keys have never matched up with Windows. Well, annoying. Oh no. Oh yeah, because Apple keyboard's a bit different. They don't have an alt, do they? They don't have an alt. They just have the Apple key, something like that. Excellent upcoming WhatsApp group for Huguenots. Is that Huguenots? Huguenots. I used to have wireless headphones. They were amazing until the battery died. Ernie says they MAGA still complain that Bernie Sanders has 6 million and Hunter got 3 million that they never proved. Such hypocrisy stems only from stupidity. Oh well, yeah, you're absolutely right there, Ernie. But also, yeah, you're right about the hypocrisy. But like they'll make like a fake AI picture of Bernie getting on like a jet, going, look, he's got his own private jet, and you're like, okay. Chris has got breaking news. 8 Buddhist monks were killed and 26 others injured when an 11-year-old boy who was driving his father's pickup truck rammed into them in Thailand. That's pretty bad. Pretty Kate Machine is replying to Diz. They are only pushing a handful of companies owning all the vets, pushing up the cost for profit, like in dentistry and the lack of affordable access. Yeah. I think that this is these are problems that Andy Burnham really needs to tackle, because if he made it easier to access dentistry and cheap again, people would notice that. People really would notice that, and it's worth doing. Blah blah CW reserved my WhatsApp username. But yeah, I'm looking forward to setting up a group on WhatsApp for us lot to have a chat. And it'll make it a bit easy, when like I'm running late, or my tech isn't working, or there's some other reason I need to send a message to people who watch the channel every day to say, hey, I'm gonna be a bit late, sorry about this. But yeah, it's a lot of stuff to get ready, because it's not like I just open my computer and press go live. I've got to make the thumbnail, I've got to do the blurb, I've got to do some briefing notes, I've got to wire everything up, because obviously I'm not normally set up here, and it's not just I use a separate mic, I use a separate camera. This is a separate camera. I use a cable to actually plug in to the internet there. I don't use the Wi-Fi, because I'm always mildly terrified of losing signal. Then I have chosen the real Graham David. The real Graham David Hughes. Please don't do that. Blah blah CW. Apple keyboards have 4 modifier keys: function, control, option, a bit like alt and command. There you go. Now you know. But yeah, you ever use a French keyboard? French keyboards and Turkish keyboards are the worst. The worst. French in particular, because they literally shift around 4 keys. 4 keys are the other way around. So I think they swap the Q and the A, and they swap like the F and the R or something. Like there's literally 4 keys that are swapped around on a French keyboard, and it's just like, oh for a separate mic Diggs. Graham is a professional, says Captain Coconut. Yeah, professional something. But yeah, I got over to Liverpool yesterday. Drove over and had to drop the car off here in West Derby at my mum and dad's, and then I was walking down the street, and I'm looking at the Uber app, and it's like 16 quid to get an Uber into town. I'm like, fucking hell. And it says that the nearest one is like 7 minutes away, and as I'm looking at this, the fucking bus turns up, doesn't it? So I just run to the bus stop and go, right, take me to town. It was quicker than taking a taxi, and a fraction of the price. But yeah, so I met up with a couple of friends who someone who's followed my journey around the world. So 17 years ago, started following the Odyssey expedition. And she does her own blog, her own travel blogs, and writes about her travels as well. And we're mates on Facebook, and they're in Liverpool, her and her husband, and they're just like, let's meet up in real life for the first time ever. So we did that at the match, well, not at the match, but watching the match, the football match, where when I got there, we were 1-0 down to the Democratic Republic of Congo. And no, that's not the Congo that put me in jail. That was the Republic of Congo. Don't get that mixed up with the Democratic Republic of Congo. It's a separate country. So that was good. Got to see a couple of mates from Liverpool as well. I came along. Which is all awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna just sort this out. Sorry a sec. So yeah, we were just talking about we just mentioned about this drug, the drug prices going up by 25% for new drugs coming from America. The attacks last night, the Russian attacks on Kyiv. We also need to mention the US Iran talks over the Strait of Hormuz. So they're having indirect technical talks, that's what they're called. And the focus is on keeping marine traffic moving through the Strait of Hormuz. And they also covered frozen Iranian funds. They did not settle the broader nuclear issue at all. Qatar described the talks as making positive progress. And oil prices fell after the talks, down to around $67 a barrel. It was almost twice that a few months ago. Iran's the next talks are expected after the Ayatollah Khamenei's funeral processions, which are going to take place on the 9th of July, which is a bit of a weird one. Like normally in Islam and Judaism, like it's the next day. You get buried the next day, but you can understandable. Living in a very, very hot climate, bodies that are dead go off very quickly and attract disease. So this is written into their holy scriptures to say someone carks it, get them in the ground ASAP. Which is kind of unfortunate for people like a lot of Jewish friends and Muslim friends. They end up missing people's funerals because it's just the process is so quick. So I'm guessing that he's probably already in the ground. I guess they're doing a memorial to him or something now that the bombs have stopped. I don't know. It just seems a little bit long after, you know. Anyway, I honestly thought England was coming home last night. They're coming home. So I read today that we're playing the royal we. England are playing Mexico next in Mexico City, in a stadium, the Azteca Stadium, and I think the stats are something like Mexico have played 88 games there, internationals, and they've only lost 2. Yeah. Kane to the rescue, says Frank. What is this, boarding school? Oh, sorry. You meant Harry Kane. Okay, sorry. I thought you meant now I'll discipline these small children. Oh, that's spelt differently, isn't it? Wonder if the Yanks will finally learn that decapitation strikes don't work. I don't watch football, but my phone seems to think I want to know the results, says Chris. Hope they're used to the altitude. 7,300 feet above sea level in the Azteca Stadium. I mean, yeah. Acro Dave says, I can't see DR Congo without thinking he's some sort of a super villain or like a fighter in Street Fighter 2. Your next fight will be against DR Congo. Fight! England will be coming home. Yeah. Kicky Windbag. A nice little game of Kicky Windbag. Yeah, I'm not going to dwell on it too much. Like England won the football last night. They won the football match against DRC. Who scored a goal in the opening minute. And it looked like England was going to go out the World Cup with sort of 10 minutes to go of the game. And then Harry Kane got two goals, the second one of which was absolutely spectacular. Even if you're not a big footy fan, hats off. Hats off. So yeah, UK business confidence has slumped. UK business morale has fallen to its lowest level since late 2022. This is a survey that comes from the Institute of Chartered Accountants in England and Wales. Firms are reporting higher costs linked to the Iran war. They're also lowering expectations for future sales. The warning is that even if the US-Iran deal holds, the economic effects may continue throughout the year. Separate business surveys have also shown weaker confidence across manufacturing, retail and services. This matters because lower confidence usually means firms delay investment, hiring and expansion. So yeah, Andy Burnham due to take office in a couple of weeks' time. I think it's now, they said it was the 17th, now I think it's going to be the 21st, I think he's taken over. This is after Parliament rises for the summer recess, so I guess he's not going to be spending much time down in London over the summer. I don't know. He's going to be too busy bringing people up north to work at the at number 10 North. They were talking about, like, he did a shit video, and it's a bit of a shame because most of Andy Burnham's videos just like a little video clip each day, just like 45 seconds of talking about what he's been up to that day, which I welcome, honestly. I know it can be, you know, a bit cheesy or whatever, but having that communication and then being able to sort of, you know, talk to people, I think it's really important. But he did one where it was like people had generated AI images of what number 10 North could look like, and he was given a score out of 10 for them. And I was like, not AI, mate, come on, not AI, fuck AI, shite, I just hate it. I hate its cadence, I hate its look, I hate its feel, I hate everything about it. It's just very, very uncanny valley. Someone on TikTok was talking about this museum in Abu Dhabi, which is just fucking empty because there's nothing to put in there, because they don't have the same rich cultural objects and things to put in there. And I know the British Museum is full of stuff stolen from other countries, but there is a lot of stuff in there that is actually British. But this is why whatever rich people do always seems kind of soulless, because any kind of culture's got to grow up from below. You know, it's got to come up from the people, culture's never top down, because the people who have the money are not artistic. Then they don't have great ideas. Most of them, they just have a rich daddy and one idea that made loads of money. That's it. Which usually they stole off somebody else. But there you go. Number 10 North, the Rovers return. AI homogenizes graphical style. Yeah. When something's been written by AI, you can tell. Yeah. The more you read AI stuff, it's getting to the point now that within a couple of minutes you can, and this is not about a couple of seconds sometimes. This isn't about the use of the M dash or some like giveaway. It's about just the style of the writing. It's very conformist. It's very dry. It's got no personality behind it. Whereas stuff written by humans, it doesn't always go where you expect it to go. Humans have a tendency to go off on a tangent and talk about stuff that possibly isn't particularly relevant to what they were originally talking about. Humans sometimes, especially when we're talking, we lose our flow of conversation, and we get distracted and all that kind of stuff. And I think that the thing with AI is that it is, at the end of the day, a mimic. All it can do is mimic what's already there. It can't create. It's an echo. It's an echo of you know, regurgitation of a really lovely meal, and it's never going to be the lovely meal because, you know, it's just a plate full of vomit. But yeah, it does have its uses. I can see that in medicine and looking at large scale data sets. Fantastic, absolutely brilliant for that. For giving a quick summary of a newspaper article or doing the minutes for a meeting, fucking fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Can't knock it for that. But that's all. We're seeing time and time again now that these companies that invested loads of money in AI, they're not really making that much. And the companies that have sacked people because they go, no, AI can do it. What they haven't realized at the time, and this is why they're rehiring now, is that AI can't. Its most shit quality is the fact that it can't self-correct. You know, you've done this, haven't you? When if you've used AI, where you've told it something, it's gone okay then, and then done the same thing again and again. Like yesterday, I was making the thumbnail for the show, right? And because it involved Trump and Farage and them getting loads of money, I wanted to have an image of banknotes fluttering down, you know, evenly spaced and so stupidly, and I never normally do this. I could only find online like quite a low res picture of what I wanted, you know, just banknotes fluttering. And so I thought, well, I'll give AI a go, and the AI on Photoshop uses Firefly to make pictures, and I had a look, like I get some like I've got like 10,000 credits, and I've used fuck all of them because I think it looks shit and I never really use it. But I think, you know, for a background, okay, maybe we could have something that looks all right. I just type. I'm trying to get the words to describe adequately what this picture that I have in my head is, right? And then it just can't do it. Like it either makes a pile of money on the ground, or the banknotes are really close. I'm like, no, I want lots of small banknotes, like, and then it makes them small denominations, and I'm like, fuck's sake. So go into Google Lens or whatever they call it these days, and I get a picture that's similar to what I want and get it to do a description to describe this, and then I feed that description into Photoshop. And again, it just comes up with absolute fucking slop, absolute shite, not what I wanted at all. And what these AI twats will say is like, you're just putting in the wrong. You know, you got to find the right words to put in, the right words. And these people that now who reckon that they're like masters of getting AI to do what you want it to do, and I think it's just bollocks. Here's the thing, right? So there was this advert last Christmas for Coca-Cola. It was all done by AI, and it was horrible. It was all uncanny valley, and there was no continuity. And apparently that took over 80,000 prompts in order to put together. And I'm like, 80,000 prompts. So they kept on putting it in and going, no, that's not quite right. Putting another thing in, no, that's not right. And 80,000, these are people who are being presumably employed because they know AI and they know how to use it. I mean, come on. Right, I go back to my second cuppa and back to lurking. Have stuff to do. Love you all. Oh, Richie Garth. Well, keep listening at least. AI has limited vocabulary. Everything it produces sounds the same. No humanity, no emotion. It's grey. Yeah, you're right, Alexa. It totally is. It totally is. Andy, I was thinking the islands we used for anthrax testing in the 50s and 60s. What is that for putting the gams on? Yeah, the error detection on AI chatbots is shite. Like, it just doesn't look over what it's written and go, oh yeah, I fucked that up. Grunyard, I think it's been cleaned up. Yeah, it has. Well, you know, just put the anthrax back. Anyway, so yeah, so the warning about UK businesses is that even if the US-Iran deal holds, then the economic effects may continue throughout the year. Separate business surveys have also shown weaker confidence across manufacturing. And it matters because lower confidence means that firms delay investment. And if I go on about one fucking thing far too much, it's private schools. But there's something else I will keep banging the drum for. It's investment. We need to invest in the people of this country. And until we do that, we're going to be, you know, just barely keeping our head above water. Did you see the test they did on the self-driving on Tesla? It was fooled by a Roadrunner style painting. Yes, I saw that video, Andy. That was incredible. So it was taking two self-driving cars, a Tesla and a Wigo or whatever it's called, and testing how good it is at being able to suss out what's what. And they did like a wall of water where they had water sprayed at both sides to see whether it would stop or whether it would continue through it. And the funniest one was they literally drew like a Roadrunner style cartoon of a road, and the car that used radar like stopped because it was like, this is a solid object, whereas the Tesla self-driving car just slammed into what I mean. It was a bunch of cardboard boxes. I mean, it didn't fuck the car up, but they're having a brick wall. Yeah. But yeah, if someone in the future decides to declare war on self-driving cars, all they need is a paintbrush and a couple of tins of paint, and just go around drawing roads on all the walls everywhere. Chris, actually, you can see the main road is about 100 meters off the coast. Tesla uses cameras, whereas others use LiDAR, light detection and ranging. Is that? But yeah, Tesla uses cameras, so just tries to guess what it sees in front of it. Okay, so next up we got the defense funding problem that Andy Burnham has inherited. We mentioned this yesterday about this plan. Now but Burnham camp have been out and said no, Burnham has agreed to this. He's happy with it, so it's worth, I don't know. It's worth circling back to at some point, but Burnham is when he gets in, we will see whether he's going to accept this settlement or whether he's going to reopen defence spending immediately. So, Acme paint, I heard it comes in tartan. That was always the joke, wasn't it? You go and get the tartan paint. Go and get the tartan paint for the new kid in the garage. Go get the tartan paint. Mirror buildings also messed with it. Oh, yeah, that's a good point, Frank. Yeah. Pete says, do you remember me talking about Andy Burnham opening a family fun day? Well, I found the video in the favourites playlist. It's on my YouTube. You've got to see the clog dancing. Cameras NAI says, yeah. I mean, humans are pretty bad at interpreting stuff. We see things that aren't there. We hear things that aren't there. We make stuff up in our heads. We do hallucinate quite a lot. Because our brain uses shortcuts, but we don't have access to technology like LiDAR. So that being the case, I think that if robots are going to do this sort of thing, they need everything. I asked AI, what percentage increase is likely of getting skid marks wearing a thong through compared to regular pants? It came back with 100%. Just split your shit in two. Chris, I have been on that road when it's on holiday. It's an excellent drive, says Viper Scott. Oh, I'm going up to Scotland this month, actually. I'm going up to Scotland for a few days, so that should be really nice with the family. So I'm quite excited about that. Love a bit of Scotland. Going up to Loch Lomond. I'm going to take the high road, and then you can take the low road. I know it's the other way around, isn't it? But I will get to Scotland before you. So there, motherfuckers. Haha, because I've got a jetpack. I think that's how the song goes. Anyway, moving on to the next story I want to talk about. Forced adoption state apology. So Starmer is issuing a formal apology on behalf of the state. This apology covers forced adoption policies affecting unmarried mothers and their children. Between 1949 and 1976, around 185,000 babies were taken from unmarried mothers in England and Wales and placed up for adoption. Many mothers were pressured through stigma, religious institutions, local authority involvement, and social coercion. Campaigners have argued for years that the state bears responsibility for the harm caused. Scotland and Wales apologised for this in 2023. Northern Ireland is waiting for the outcome of a public inquiry. Just got to show that grass is green and the sun is the sky is blue sometimes. The previous Labour government, the previous Conservative government expressed regret but stopped short of a formal apology. Next up, is about racism and intolerance in Britain. So Starmer saying that racism and intolerance have worsened in Britain over the past decades as racist language has become more normalised in public life. His comments follow growing concerns among Britons of colour about anti-migrant politics and far-right mobilisation. Recent flashpoints include Southampton and Belfast. Starmer rejected Farage's claims that policies supporting minorities amount to discrimination against white people. He claimed he linked the current climate to the murder of Joe Cox in 2016, saying the situation has worsened since then. And the political point is that Starmer is asking politicians to stop inflaming tensions for short-term gain, which is what Nigel Farage has been doing. Have you noticed his cold, his cold hard indifference to the fact that one of his lot, or the raise the flags motherfuckers, turns out to be a massive nonce? Cold hard indifference. It's almost as though you can't paint an entire group of people with the same brush because of the actions of one individual in that group. Just saying. Alistair, as a decorator, it was mostly asking them to go up to the counter at Dulux Trade Centre and asking them for a copy of the tartan print card. On my first factory job, someone asked me to go for a long stand and no one could find me until the end of the shift. They didn't pull any tricks like that again. If anyone else has got things of the trainees to go and do. Boba Fetty, I've got a jetpack. Harry Flashman says having fun on the A111111. So yeah, I don't know if I've got Boba Fetty. Do you want me? Listen, I'll tell you what, right? I don't have Boba Fetty set up on this, but if you're very nice to me, I'll download it. I'll download it. If we get more super chats in, so we can actually have some Boba Fetty. Just give me a second. See if this works. Export. Okay. Okay. Just downloading that. Okay. Now the problem is, for me, is that I need to do a thing so it doesn't make the Boba Fetty. It doesn't make the Boba Fetty the wrong thing. Okay. So if I go to filters. Sorry about this. I am doing something here. If someone wants to drop, I mean, I might do all this and then no one drops a super chat in and I get sad. I hope that doesn't happen. Do a chroma key and then key color, custom color, select color, pick screen color. That one. Okay, cool. Oh dear. What's going on here? What is even happening right now? Sorry about this, everyone. For some reason, this has gone mad. Mad, I tell you. Oh, hang on. Oh, that's really weird. Sorry, I was trying to add a chroma key to this, and it's just kind of deleted everything. Maybe I should select a different color. Pick a different color. That's not wise. Oh, I need to put that up there. There you go. Okay, right. This is really bad. This is really shit. Oh, okay. Sorry, everyone. Maybe I shouldn't be bothered doing this right now. That's not working out very well. Let me just get rid of that and then see if I can do a color key instead. Maybe that'll work better. Custom color, select color, pick screen color, pick the color of the screen. Okay. Aha. Okay, that's how you do it. Brilliant. Okay. Right. Fantastic. Okay, so I've got my Boba Fetty helmet set up now. Just so you know, use color key instead of chroma key if you're trying to key out the background. There you go. So I'll slap that over me stupid face. There we go. So right, okay. Boba Fetty is now set up. So if you want to if you want to drop some super chats in, I will activate it. A little teasing of the new apprentice is great fun. Also, let's see you sort out the person that you are. The adjustable spanners, metric or imperial. That's good. Metaphorical sparks. It's in Rise of Machines. No sparks happen on Grinder. I don't know about the background of Boba Fetty, but have you tried a CPO Fetty? I've always suspected that the inventors know the tricks, but go along with it as an opportunity to skive off, and it will always be someone else's fault. Yeah. Um, um, Not natural in my view, sir. Not in the favour of unnatural things. Veterinary looked perplexed. You mean you eat your meat raw and sleep in a tree? Um, that's from The Fifth Elephant. Yes. I don't understand these people who get on planes. They get on planes to go somewhere. They get on actual planes to go somewhere. What? Oh no, I only do natural things. What? Yeah, I don't use a microwave because it's unnatural. I just use a cooker. Pretty sure that a cooker's pretty unnatural. Pretty sure they don't grow on trees. Pretty much 99% of what humans do, all human activity is unnatural. People writing on the internet, I only do natural things. It's like, okay, all right. But there's a real dark side to this, which is people will use the excuse to say things aren't natural to excuse their homophobia or transphobia, or just being a general bigot. You know, they'll talk about mixed marriages, mixed race marriages, being unnatural, it's unnatural, and you're like, and then they'll use nature to justify committing crimes like pedophilia or the sexual abuse of women, and they'll say, but it's nature, it's the way nature is, and it's always used, and that really pisses me off because a lot of people around the world believe in the supernatural. And the clue's in the name there. You know, if they believe in a god, then they believe stuff that's not just unnatural, but supernatural. And it's like, okay, I don't mind people believing whatever they want to believe, but at the same time, don't tell me that you live an entirely natural life, because otherwise, yeah, you'll be eating raw meat and living up a tree. We had a guy on the painting party in prison who was short. We used to make him a tiny scaffolding kit out of matchsticks and gave him small paintbrushes. My colleagues convinced me the military were enlisting young workers after 9/11, and I was being picked up by the military police. I swear Patrick quotes are applicable to almost anything. Lol. Well, don't joke about metric and imperial adjustable spanners. They have them in the US. I suppose if they, on one side, it had a measurement, you know, underneath where you adjust it, like, so you could see what that's exactly 1 inch or 1 centimeter or whatever. They have one on one side, one on the other. So yeah, I suppose. Skirting board ladders. It's like there's a left-handed go has to go get find a sky hook. Yeah, I've heard that one before as well, Sarah. Sky hook. There's one about something that's left-handed. Go and get me a left-handed knife or something. But then knives can be handed, so yeah. Martin is a Scouser as well, so you can imagine all the jokes that were levelled at him on a daily basis. He was a short Scouser. Short and sweet. Okay, so next up, now that I've got me Boba Fetty in place, not that I don't think I'm going to get to use it, but you know, hope springs eternal. Yeah, racism has just got worse in the last 10 years, and the current climate has been linked to the murder of Joe Cox, and the Farage's claims that, you know, policy supporting minorities amount to discrimination against white people is fueling this a feeling of not getting your, you know, your innate sense of justice is being disrupted. But that's not the case. If there's anyone stealing your lunch, it's the rich, it's the born rich, it's the Nepo babies, it's the private school mafia. They are eating your lunch. Yeah, left-handed crowbar, left-handed screwdriver. Yeah, that's it. Go get a left-handed screwdriver. A left-handed crowbar. Or as I like to call it, a Scouse key. Skyhooks exist, real-life climbing equipment, says Graham Haller. Did anyone see the footage of the couple who had the wedding proposal on top of the Empire State Building? They put a flag at the top of the Empire State Building, saying that love is great, and then one of the terrorists, one of the vandals, got on one knee and proposed to the other one. and they got up without any kind of safety equipment or anything, and just watching it going, oh my God, no. I mean, yeah. Great Pratchett book that covers the absurdity of racism is Jingo. Damn it, Graham Haller. I was just typing that. What did Graham Haller type? Skyhooks exist. Oh yeah. I know, but like it was always a piss take thing, wasn't it? My dad's shop. Go get the skyhooks, go get the tartan paint, go get the left-handed screwdriver, send off a trainee, just fresh out of West Derby comp, to go and find whatever. Obi-Wan and no Imperial entanglement, solo, well metric, and will cost you extra. Okay, Al. Anyway, so talking about the climate adaptation, which we're talking about now because of this massive heat wave, the second heat wave. We've got a third heat wave coming over the next few days. Spain has recorded more than 1,000 heat-related deaths this year, and this is a country in Spain that is used to high heat, but not to this extent. With temperatures above 40 degrees in part of the continent where, heat has caused power disruption, travel problems, pressure on public services. And the EU is still legally committed to net zero by 2050. And the problem is adaptation. Buildings, workplaces, transport and health systems are not ready for repeated extreme heat. And around 72% of EU climate funds go towards cutting emissions, and only about 18% goes towards adaptation. But adaptation is absolutely necessary, because even if we stop the world getting warmer today, it's still going to be warmer than it used to be. We're still going to be getting these mad, really, really high temperature days that can fuck things over, and these knobheads going on 1976, it was hot for 3 months straight. This was only 3 days. I'm like, yeah, the intensity of the heat is what matters. It's like if you looked at the heat that a wall got, not a wall, it's a bad example, a bit of metal got over the course of its lifetime, probably equates to the amount of heat that it gets if you put a blowtorch against it. But the blowtorch might damage the metal so much that it fatigues and makes the whole fucking building come down. I'm a lefty too. The world has made me very ambidextrous. Oh, I'd give my right arm to be ambidextrous. Have I got the squeaky tank? I don't know if I've even got the squeaky tank on this setup. Squeaky tank. No, I don't. I don't have the squeaky tank. Should I go get the squeaky tank as well? Oh no, I think people get bored if I'm just trying to set things up for comedy value. Yeah, go on, I get the squeaky tank. Where is the squeaky tank? Oh, do you know what? I don't think I've got it on this computer, because that wasn't a download. That was something I actually made in Photoshop. Not Photoshop, Premiere. The Empire used imperial measurements because a Star Destroyer being a mile long sounds better than it being 1.606 kilometers. Oh, it's the reason why we'd never move to the metric system in the UK, is just because a pint is 568 milliliters, and we don't. If we went to metric, you'd get half a liter. And first of all, that sounds like a measurement of petrol. But secondly, you'd lose 68 milliliters. It's not like they're going to bring the price down in it. Shrinkflation. They did have measurements on spanners. Surely you can adjust it to fit the bolt. Yeah, but if the bolt's somewhere, so imagine like the bolt is in a really hard to see place, but that the bolt is, that you're getting is half an inch. You can set it to half an inch, and then you can reach under and start taking the bolt off without having to try and fanny about getting it to the right size around the bolt. I guess. Don't know. It's a good way of measuring things. If you've got an adjustable spanner and you've got to drill a nail into the wall, you can use the adjustable spanner as a measurement tool, can't you? If it's got measurements on it, you can say, right, I want this to go 1 centimeter into the leave 1 centimeter of the screw out, and then you can put a bit of tape around that bit of the screw, so you're not going further than that. So yeah, I mean, I think an adjustable spanner with measurements on it would be quite it'd be a bit useful, I reckon. The difference is that in 1970 heat waves were a bit of an anomaly. These days they come up pretty much every year. True, very true. One angry pagan. Chris says, I remember getting the food trolley from the kitchen, and as we were checking the food, I made the comment of the vegan shit just as it fell off the rack and hit the floor and caked my key workers. See, there you go, mate. You shouldn't diss vegans, because the god of vegans will smite you. Were you smoted? Were you totally smotted? Anyway, heat waves cost the European economy. They cost the European economy about 0.3% of its output in 2025, and things are just going to get worse. The EU is preparing a climate resilience plan, but many adaptation decisions remain national or local. Meanwhile, Russia's domestic fuel woes worsen. Ukraine drone attacks on refineries and depots are disrupting Russia's fuel supplies, and restrictions are now affecting nearly every single Russian region. Across the country, farmers are warning that fuel shortages could disrupt this year's harvest. Drivers are using crowdsourced maps to find petrol stations that have got fuel left in them. Online searches in Russia for how to siphon fuel have reportedly jumped sharply. You stick a tube in, suck it. Try not to suck it too much, because you get a mouthful of petrol, which is not good. You're not going to get that taste out your mouth for a while. And then you just let it all siphon out. Russia is trying to stabilize supply through imports and shipments from partners including India and Kazakhstan. And the strategic point is that Ukraine is targeting the Russia's energy infrastructure to basically increase domestic pressure on Moscow to end this fucking war. The highest temperature in 76 was 25 degrees, not what we just suffered. No, it wasn't 25. It was 35. It was 30. I'm pretty sure it was 35 or 34.7 or something like that. It was more than that. One piece. Apparently, I don't know. I wasn't there. I can't remember. I wasn't born. In my mate's Tesla, your head melts when the sun's out because of the glass roof. Yeah, Jesus, I can imagine. Crimea is pretty much evacuated, thanks to the Ukrainians droning the hell out of them, which is nice. Yeah, Chris is saying, breaking news, Tories call for Immigration Act to be amended so Rochdale grooming gang leader can be deported. Remind me again who was in government for 14 years and did nothing. So this is a story about the ringleader of the grooming gang crime in series of crimes in Rochdale. Now, this man who abused hundreds of children has served out enough of his sentence to, I guess, be on parole now. But he's had his British passport taken off him, but he can't be deported to Pakistan because of the 1971 Immigration Act rule, whatever, because he was here before 1973 and he spent more than 5 years in the country or whatever the time is. I mean, he spent a lot of time in jail. Now, there doesn't need to be a change of the law necessarily. The Pakistani government should take him back and say, okay, he's our wrong and we'll keep him. And they're saying no. So yeah, it is probably going to take a change in the law, which is going to be retrospective, I guess, to say if you have committed a crime of such horrific, a capital offence like that, then fuck off. Do you know what I mean? Like that, we'll carve out an exception in the 1971 Act to say even if you were here before 1973, you can fuck off because your crimes outweigh your human rights to stay, your right to stay here. It's not even a human right. You don't have a right to be anywhere. You have rights that are given to us by the government. Essentially, that's the rule all over the world. And if Labour are going to change the law on this, they will have to make it very specific and say this is just for cases involving paedophilia, rape, murder, manslaughter, even maybe depending on the circumstances, and just say really grim capital offences. You can be sent back even if you were here before 1973. Also, we can't deport him as Pakistan has refused to allow him to return. You can't ignore a sovereign country's wishes. Yeah. So even very good point, Chris. Even if they do change the law, the Pakistan government saying no, we're not going to have him, which means there is a certain amount of diplomacy that can be deployed in these situations to say you take this fucker or we're going to do X, Y, Z. I hope it doesn't come to that, but if necessary, So NATO gaps after the US reduction. So NATO is preparing for its summit in Ankara this week, and where European allies are expected to fill the gaps in the defence budgets that are being caused by the Yanks just pulling out. Basically, the Yanks saying we're not going to pay into this anymore. Not paying into well, you don't really pay into NATO. It's just the money that you spend on your own military. But they're not interested in getting involved in what NATO is up to. They're demanding that other countries spend more on their defence. And Trump, because he's an idiot, doesn't really know how things work. He honestly believes there is a big pot of money that everyone puts the money in for common defence of all the NATO countries. It doesn't work like that. Each country is responsible for its own defence, and they can spend whatever they want on it. And it was Obama that brought in the 2.5% of GDP idea, which Trump has run with, and now they're saying they want it to go up to 5% of GDP to be spent on defence, which is like, how did we get here? Because of fucking Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin. Can we just get rid of Putin? It'd be cheaper rather than spend all this money. Was he born in Pakistan? Yes, he was born in Pakistan. The issue is all the victims were told by the authorities and the Tory government that he would immediately be deported upon his release, knowing full well that was never the case. Yeah. So yeah. Sorry. Of course, there will be defence funding gaps. Defence has been grossly and systematically underfunded for 35 years. Yeah, but I mean, there was a reason for that. The reason was we were entering the end of history, the long peace, this idea that we were not going to have to worry about having battleships in the future. We're not going to have to worry about having fucking tanks in the future because things were settling down around the world, and the big push was to stop terrorism, which doesn't require an army. It just requires a lot of good intel and a small group of people who can kick down a door and arrest someone. Well, look at the Not Defence Review. Yeah, Justice Minister Jake Richards told the BBC Politics Live there were long-standing issues with our ability to deport foreign national offenders to Pakistan. Yes. So yeah, there's a few more stories to go, but I am going to go over to the newspaper headlines now, if you don't mind. Is that okay? I'm just going to ask very nicely if that's okay. I'm sure it is. We've got the Times here. Farage and partner have built £4 million property portfolio since Brexit. Nigel Farage and his partner have built a mortgage-free property portfolio of at least 5 homes. I talk about him getting 20 homes worth of money, right? So this is what he's done. There's a very unfortunate picture there of Harry Kane, who's just scored the goal. Kane looks like he's in pain, but also he's got his mouth open, and so I know I shouldn't want to do this, but it does make me want to get a marker pen out and draw a big cock, going up from his cock area to his mouth. Sorry, and then I'm not going to, because I'm not an absolute. Well, do you know what? If I had a little plug-in on my browser app here, on my browser window, I would so just draw that on now with my mouse. Burnham's first job will be to find £7 billion of cuts. Schools and hospitals face squeeze under new PM. Well, that's got to be a baptism of fire, isn't it? Statins give obese adult similar heart health to Slim. What, Fat Boy Slim? Don't know, not very well written, that. And then we've got another picture of Harry Kane and his mate. Oh my god, the magenta cocks that I could draw on this. I know it's a bit B3TA, I know it's a bit rathergood.com, but Come on, just imagine. Just close your eyes. No, don't close your eyes. Defense black hole triples to 15 billion, according to the Daily Telegraph. Okay. Number 10 admits it cannot explain where cuts will come from to boost cash for the military. All right. And then we've got Burnham deport grooming gang rapists. So we have here Andy Burnham has demanded that ministers do everything possible to deport a Pakistani grooming gang ringleader who is due to be freed from prison today. So yeah, I should absolutely, in this case, I think he should absolutely be deported. Mandelson was privileged contact of Russian spies, claimed a secret dossier compiled by former MI6 agents claimed that Lord Mandelson was considered a privileged contact by Russian intelligence. What a twat. There is a 40,000 in a stampede for tickets to go and see the Bayeux Tapestry within 20 minutes of opening. The tickets to the British Museum had warned of Glastonbury-style waiting times online as visitors attempted to see the embroidery on British shores. Within minutes of tickets becoming available at 10 a.m. yesterday, more than 39,000 people had joined the queue. The tapestry depicting the Norman conquest in 1066 will be on show at the museum from September the 10th. Wow. Well worth checking out if you can. Prince Harry there warns of Invictus Games attack. Terrorists could create a mass casualty event if Prince Harry is targeted at the Invictus Games. Which is true. Like, honestly, as much as I don't like spending money on people, right? We have yay! That wasn't supposed to happen, but it did. Yay. Yes, as much as I appreciate and understand that people get upset about us spending all this money on the royals, right? Royals, high up in the British royal family, they will have a credible threat, and their children will have a credible threat made against them by terrorists all their lives, and that's not their fault. And you know what? Not a massive fan of the royal family. I will take the piss out of them all the time because, you know, I like taking the piss out of them. But in this case, I do think that we should be paying for security for this guy who, it's not like he became famous off his own back and then he's saying, oh, I need a bodyguard or whatever. This is someone who's born into this role, this ridiculous role, but that's the way it is. And he needs security. And I think that, yeah, in the cases when he does come here, we should pay for it. If he was still living here, if he hadn't left, we will be paying for it. We don't pay for it 99% of the time because he's not in the country. But when he's in the country, okay, fair enough. Anyway, and we've got some more news in the Daily Telegraph here, just above my head. Not about Madonna, but about deaths, top births for the first time in 50 years. So now there are more people dying than there are children, babies being born, which doesn't surprise me because unless you are, filthy fucking rich like Nigel Farage, it's very, very difficult to get enough money together to fucking have children, which is really sad. It's really, really sad. Anyway, so next up, we're going to go to the Daily Mail, and oh my god, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I would so be drawing a cock on that picture. Oh my god, I mean, come on. I mean, stop doing this to me. Stop doing it. You're making me look like ridiculous. See you 1 a.m. Monday morning from Mexico. Are you kidding me? It's going to be at 1 a.m. Oh, for fuck's sake. Panel that rejected major screening program had no specialist in the cancer and no black voices. Fresh fury at prostate betrayal. The decision to reject a major screening program was made by a committee that did not contain a single prostate cancer expert, the Daily Mail can reveal. Oh, so you're bothered about a committee getting together? What kind of a court getting together? What kind of like a meeting getting together of like people making a decision and not including any of the stakeholders in that decision, any experts in that field? Would that be a bit like, I don't know, the Supreme Court bringing down the decision against trans people and not actually including any trans people, not offering to have any trans people come and talk at the court about their experiences and about, their life and what their life is going to look like with these new rules coming in? Yeah, Bit like that. Anyway, here's Harry Kane again. There he is, looking with Jude Bellingham, looking very cockable. Well, is that a word? Cockable? Someone's got to be drawing cocks all over these newspapers. Burnham's allies issue first threat, hands off welfare. Even before he's in number 10, Starmer's likely successor faces looming Labour revolt over spending, as his own backers warn not to cut benefits to fill the £4.7 billion defence black hole. The amount of the amount of black holes, the size of the black holes just changes on each newspaper front page. It's funny that, isn't it? So then next up we have the I newspaper here. We've got Rayner. Fights for cabinet return with housing job pitch to Burnham. Also, we've got Farage fears that he will face by-election over £5 million gift from crypto billionaires. I hope so. And I hope that all of the other parties step down and get behind the Tory party MP, so they get elected rather than Nigel Mirage, as they call him in Clacton, because if you see him in Clacton, it's a mirage. Anyway, so yeah, Rayner's fighting for a cabinet return. I mean, I think she'll get it, especially if she's going to go into housing. I think that's a good fit for her, definitely. The Daily Express here now. I fear for my safety after gang boss is freed, and Hero Harry to the rescue. I think they should say, as England edge it. We always like being edged, don't we? And again, there needs to be some kind of magenta cartoon cock drawn on that picture. There you go. Now get ready for the 1 a.m. showdown with Mexico. So we're all going to get up at 1 o'clock in the morning to watch the fucking the Earth Cup fucking trophy for the round ball, right? And we're gonna what we're gonna do here? We're gonna get up and we're gonna watch them lose. We're gonna watch them lose at 2 o'clock in the morning. We're gonna be watching 3 o'clock in the morning. End of the match. We're gonna watch to the end. Probably gonna lose, even if we do manage to get a goal and keep it goalless for 1-1 or 2-1 or 2-2. Sorry, till the end, 0-0. We'll get penalties and then we'll lose on penalties. 88 games they've played, I think. 88 games. They're the stats I saw. 88 games that they've played in the stadium there, and they've only ever won. They've only lost 2. Mexico only lost 2 in that stadium that we're going to be fighting them in at like ridiculous thousands of meters above sea level. Crazy. That was touch and go, Harry. There you go. Again, I need the ability to draw cocks. There's a score there at the top. If you still can't see it because the Hughes the World logo is in the way. Go away, Hughes the World logo. There we go. England 2, DR Congo 1. Kane double saves England. Okay, good. I love the way they waste the newspaper front page there on, a news story that I think everyone's going to know. Again, we need to be. Listen, I'm just gonna say that there needs to be an ability to just draw things. I wonder if I can. I wonder if I can do color, browser, game image, group depreciated, color, create scene source, color. Okay. Oh, no. No, that just colours the whole thing, Graham. It had a paintbrush on it. I thought that would allow me to just draw on the screen and draw the cock of my dreams. But it won't let me. It won't let me. I'm going to have a think about this. Anyway, so that's Harry Houdini there. Next up, we've got the Guardian here. Could themed bars save our nightlife? I don't know, maybe. And another, oh God. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Kane put to World Cup rescue puts England into last 16. US trade deal on medicines will cost the NHS $45 billion. This is the main story I was talking about today. And Trump accused of $1 billion crypto corruption profit. Donald Trump has been accused of brazen crypto corruption, which he absolutely is 100% guilty of. Okay, so next up we've got the the Financial Times here. Lots of stories here. We've got Trump, and he's an ugly motherfucker, isn't he? Is there anything we can do about that? Do we have I don't have a frog to put over his face on this setup. I've got to make me setup better, I think. But he's only small on the screen there. So earnings soar. Trump filings show bonanza. Donald Trump in Maryland yesterday. The president bought up to 1.4 billion in stocks last year and sold up to 432 million while being president of the United States and starting various wars. Give him a peace prize. While Europe needs Turkey's defense might, this is how we can make AI safe for everyone. Yeah, put it in the bin. I'm just going to close the curtains here because the sun came out then and it got really... Oh, no, actually, I'll leave it. I was going to say the sun came out and it got really bright, but it's gone in again now, so it's all right. Blue Crest questions UK as a business destination after £200 million tax defeat. Platt's firm loses legal battle. Court tightens definition of partners. Influence a deciding factor. We've also got autonomous car group Wavy to trade on exchange's private markets platform. Gardens build new homes from the ruins of the old. Gardens are recycling the debris of their raised enclave to build homes more robust than the tents humanitarian groups have donated. That's fair enough that they're rebuilding that. Sorry about showing Trump again. I need to read the briefing. Coffers not empty as feared. Not as empty as feared. Burnham to be told. The Treasury will tell Andy Burnham that the Iran war has done less harm to public finances than feared. Good. Can chop off Trump's head there. Record first half deals. Mergers and acquisitions worth $2.8 trillion have been agreed globally in the first 6 months of the year. Yeah, fuck the Monopolies and Mergers Commission. We've got Halifax brands scrapped. Oh yeah, so if you got a Halifax card like I do, it's going to become a Lloyd's card, which is going to be confusing because I've already got a Lloyd's card, so I don't know what they're going to do there. But yeah, the Halifax name is being scrapped after 170 odd years. It was first begun in 1853 when it began. So yeah, now it's going the way of the dodo. So yeah, over 170 years they've used the Halifax brand, but they're going to get rid of it because whatever. Anthropic ban ended. Washington told the $1 trillion AI group that has lifted the ban on foreigners accessing its tools. And then we've got pledge from new Fed boss Kevin Warsh has insisted there will be no changes to the Fed's independence. Okay. Berlin plea over US arms. Germany has pushed Washington to allow more US weapons to be built on German soil in a bid to plug Europe's military gaps while keeping Donald Trump invested in the continent's defense because he needs to make money, doesn't he? Shakes fist at the sun. Damn you thermonuclear bastard, says Andy. Google told to play Klarna. The US tech giant has been ordered to pay $2 billion in damages for lost revenue at the fintech's price comparison site after a Swedish court says Google privileged its own comparison service. Ooh, naughty. World Bank in China shift. The multilateral lender will phase out its lending to China by 2031, according to a plan submitted by its board. That will end Beijing's status as a borrower from the US-based institution. Okay, so to be honest, Russia won't be able to invade anywhere else for decades. No, but they can still fuck shit up. And not a full-scale invasion, but they can blow shit up. They've got lots of drones. They've got lots of missiles. It's been confirmed. It has been confirmed, but Pakistan doesn't want him either, so he stays. Yeah, but they can be lent on, Pakistan can be lent on. Also, we don't know if he has a Pakistani passport. I think in this case, because it will be used by the far right to say we need to get out of the European Convention of Human Rights, which has got nothing to do with it. This is because of a an act of parliament from 1971. Pagan, I just wish we'd evolve into something that didn't act like a twat or other people when rich people tell them to. Yeah. Oh, why did you act like a twat? Or a rich person told me to. I want to know what the hat in the sun has got. It's made of. That'll be valuable in the future to protect us. What? It's not a real thing. We're fucked then. What? The sun has got his hat on. Hip 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 hooray! The sun has got his hat on, and we're coming out to. We're coming out to. We're just coming out. We're just coming out and then going to the gay bar. Russia will still be capable of having a go at the Baltic states. Yeah. They can lean on Pakistan, but the law needs to be amended or changed. No, both things need to happen. Again, the law needs to be looked at. They can probably use a statutory instrument just to say we're getting rid of this. No, not getting rid of the rule about pre-1973. They need to have something that says if it is a serious enough offence to warrant, let's say, 5 years in jail, a sentence of at least 5 years in jail, then, yeah, they can be deported. And then there's the other part of it, which is we've got to get the Pakistani government on side. So that we can deport in individuals who committed horrific acts here. Yeah. I mean, the thing is as well, I don't want him living here because it's horrible for his victims. I mean, imagine he's walking through the streets of Rochdale and one of his victims sees it. That'll be really triggering and traumatizing for that victim. So I don't want it to happen for that reason. But then, the human rights, women's rights in particular in, what's that place called? Pakistan, aren't particularly great. So what if he goes over there and starts committing more crimes because he can? That's a worry as well. You can change domestic laws as much as you want. If a person's home country refuses to allow them entry, there's nothing you can do about it, says Christie. Yeah. This hat is supported by radiation pressure from the sun. It would act as a Shukadov thruster and drag the whole solar system off at crazy velocities. Doom. He's not going to be walking anywhere. Not our problem. There was a discussion about why the world we see the northern hemisphere as being the top and the southern hemisphere as being the bottom, and how arbitrary it is. I'm like, well, I get that it feels arbitrary, but at the same time, any kind of representation of our Earth, whether it's a globe or whether it's a map, it's got to have a function. It's got to be useful. And having the northern hemisphere at the top makes sense in that of the 200 countries of the world, the overwhelming majority of them are in the northern hemisphere. And this isn't about dissing the global south, because when we talk about the global south, we're usually talking about the south of the northern hemisphere. India is in the northern hemisphere. All the West Africa countries that we can think of. So Liberia, Guinea, Sierra Leone, Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, Togo, Benin, Burkina Faso, Niger, Chad, Senegal, Gambia, they're all in the northern hemisphere. Somalia is in the northern hemisphere. I think there's a little bit of it that might straddle the border a little bit, but the equator. But a lot of these places that are struggling right now are in the northern hemisphere. So it's not like you can say, oh, we're dissing the southern half of the world. But it's I don't really have a problem with north being up. So yeah, when the Earth is going around the sun with its hat on at what is it, 400,000 miles an hour, something mad. Everything's relative though. Everything is relative. I don't have so much of a problem with it. There's still a major fallouts on the internet about the Magellan. Sorry, not the Magellan. What's it called? The projection, the Mercator projection, being unfair on Africa because it makes Africa look really small and it makes Greenland look really big, and no one lives in Greenland. What's the point of that? But anytime you try and get a globe and stick it down on a bit of paper, on a flat piece of paper, you're going to get a lot of distortion. And one of the things that the Mercator map does very well is that it allows you to go north from any point straight up, and it'll take you to the North Pole. Yeah. Everything's relative, just like the speed dating party. So it goes, you go to the North Pole on the map, basically. All those points go, yeah, all those lines of longitude, just the long ones, they go from the North Pole to the South Pole. That's why it's also messed up at the bottom, at the top. The UK has have to return agreements with countries, and Pakistan is one of those countries that does not want to have a return agreement with us. Yeah. Maths are north facing, largely because the first map makers lived in the Northern Hemisphere. Well, most people. It's not just about map makers, it's most people lived in the Northern Hemisphere. They still do. Vast. I mean, all of China's in the Northern Hemisphere. No? Let's look that up. Should we look that up? Should we go population? Population figures. Northern Hemisphere versus Southern. Around 87 to 90% of the world's population lives in the Northern Hemisphere, while only about 10 to 13 resides in the Southern Hemisphere. And also, it's not just that the world is kind of lopsided in that respect. We know the humans aren't spread out evenly across the Northern and the Southern Hemispheres. There's not as many land masses in the Southern Hemisphere. That's one of the reasons. But also, half of the planet, if you turn it around, is ocean. It's the Pacific Ocean. The Pacific Ocean takes up half of the globe. So we're all crammed on one side of the planet, which is handy, you know. I think it's handy. What else we got? The I accidentally took the cat's meds this morning. Don't ask meow. Don't ask meow. Very good. I like that. I had one called Little Kitty Big City. Oh, cool. Coolio. Okay, so I'm going to where are we? We were talking about the Burnham. We were mentioning about his tax fight. Oh, I'll tell you another story that's coming. The National Lottery is getting a funding review. So Lisa Nandy has launched the first major review of the National Lottery good cause spending in more than 20 years. The lottery has raised more than £53 billion for good causes since 1994. And the public consultation will run for 12 weeks. So if you want to get involved in that. OpenAI is reportedly in early talks to give the US government a 5% stake in its company. You know, like the government owning private companies, the government having an investment in private companies. Is that socialism? Is that socialism? That sounds commie to me. And the proposal could involve other major AI firms doing the same. I mentioned about the antitrust fine that Google's got, but also they've also lost a challenge. Google's also lost a challenge. There's a separate thing here against a 4.1 billion euro EU fine, and this is about favouring Google Search, Chrome, and Google Play over other providers on Android phones. The original fine was 4.34 billion in 2018, and after 8 years of discussion and lawyers and things like that, that's been cut down to 4.1. So it's gone down to from 4.3 to 4.1 billion. And this is strengthening Europe's wider crackdown on big tech, and also the EU are pushing now for batteries to be replaceable in all small portable electronic devices. Meanwhile, India has blocked the WhatsApp username rollout, which we were talking about earlier. India has told WhatsApp to halt the rollout of its new usernames feature. The feature would let users message without sharing phone numbers, and India is WhatsApp's biggest market with more than 500 million users. The government wants justification and consultation before the launch, and this is following wider action against anonymity on messaging platforms. But I don't really get this, because I assume that WhatsApp are going to keep your phone number, and that's going to be linked to your username, and this is going to be any different from starting I think a username on Twitter. Did they ban Twitter there? I don't know. You can get any old username. I have a great username on Twitter. It's called I Follow Bigots. I don't post anything on it. I just literally press follow on bigots. The Supreme Court this week, they allowed the Trump administration to end temporary protected status for Haitians and for Syrians, and this means that hundreds of thousands of people living in America could lose their work authorization. So it's just a shit targeted thing against black people and brown people. If it was equal across the board, then it would still be horrible, but at least it wouldn't look as fucking racist. But here we are. Meanwhile, we talked about earlier this week about these protests in South Africa, where black South Africans, Zulu South Africans are fighting, going on the streets to protest against people from other places in Southern Africa living there. The 120 marches this week, 108 of them were peaceful, but 12 of them required intervention, and more than 900 people were arrested nationwide across South Africa. Arrests included public violence, robbery, harbouring undocumented migrants, and immigration violations. So yeah, it's all kicking off. And do you know what? The white oppressors are sitting there laughing their fucking sick asses off, aren't they? Meanwhile, over in France, Marine Le Pen faces a court ruling on July the 7th over her election ban. The result could decide whether she or Jordan Bardella leads the National Front, National Rally as they're called now, into the 2027 French presidential election. Le Pen received a 5-year office ban and a 4-year prison sentence in March 2025. Polling cited in the report puts Bardella as high as 37% in the first round. National Rally remains strong despite the legal uncertainty. And then we got Associated British Foods saying that US cooking oil sales are falling. Its Mazola brand is exposed to Hispanic customers in the US, and the chief executive George Weston has blamed financial pressure and ice pressure on losing customers. So there you go. So there's a knock-on effect of the racism at the heart of the Trump administration is that companies and US cooking oil sales are down. This is the law of unintended consequences. Well, maybe it was intended consequences. I don't know. It's still not great for us though. Anyway, so what else have we got in the chat? We're not going to get our bloody Boba Fetty after me spending all that time setting up the Boba Fetty to go to be launched, the Boba Fetty cannon. I spent all that time, putting all the gunpowder in it, and then getting that big Q-tip and then sticking it in the hole and giving it a good ram in the hole, and then putting some padding in, and then rolling in the confetti cannonball, ready to go, the Boba Fetty cannonball. But if anyone wants to drop some really quick super chats in, they can. I'm not going to stop them, and it may result in Boba Fetty. Christy says, sorry, Graham Skin, don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it. Andy says the sun goes mad in 5 billion years, then we end up plowing through its outer layers and spiraling in to join Mercury and Venus. Earth's core will still be hot when the sun swells and melts us. Here's an interesting thought. Will the Earth's core cool down before the sun runs out of hydrogen, or will the sun run out of hydrogen before the Earth's core cools down? No, I think we'll still have it. Oh, Ryan, thank you so much for the £5 super chat. That is wonderful. That's the equivalent of 2.5 super chat. So if we get a couple more, I will throw out the confetti cannon. So today I am going to I'm going to do some work. I might do some writing today. I don't know if I'll do Graham Hughes Rights and Wrongs, but I might go out in Liverpool. Maybe we can see some friends. In the meantime, I hope you're having a nice time. I don't know if I mentioned it, but I do have a Guinness World Record. Got a couple of them. Well, I've got 3 of them now, technically. And I really want to. Back in 2016, I was in the Guinness Book of Records book, for 2016. But I was on page 200 in the margin, like just this little tiny bit of text saying Graham Hughes with one of my records. And when I went to do the interview, if you've not watched my podcast that I did with them, or they did with me, I was on a guest on their podcast last month. If you haven't seen that already, please watch it. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, they got in touch with me and said we want to do more of a feature for the 2028 edition of the Guinness Book of Records. So I'm going to be working with them on doing some stuff about my travels in the book. So I'm quite excited about that. And also, I also run a thing called Global Scouse Day. I run the website for it. I founded it, and it's on my birthday each year. And the idea is that bars and restaurants and cafes put Scouts on the menu for the day, and then raise money for charity, and then that goes to homeless charities or cancer support or the Alder Hay Children's Hospital down the road here in West Derby in Liverpool. And I've got a meeting with quite an important person next week to talk about Global Scouts Day for next year. So we're setting things up, which is quite exciting. Boba Fetty says, Ice Boo. That's very kind of you. A £2 super chat there. And then we've got Martin Harrow. That's tomorrow's chat budget gone. Oh, I'm sorry, Martin, but thank you very much for the super chat anyway. That's very kind of you. And then we've got Kit Knight there, £2 super chat. Solidarity, Boba Fetty. We want the Boba Fetty. So we get one more. Uno mas, and we will have Boba Fetty for the nation. Yay! There we go. GM, lovely. Thank you very much. So this is the first time we've done it on my laptop. Let's do it. 3, 2, 1. Confetti! Yay! Boba Fetty. Boba Fetty. Woo! Yeah. Thanks, GM, lovely. That was very lovely of you. Brilliant. Okay, thank you very much. So yeah, meeting next week. I'll have to come back to Liverpool. But yes, so that should be fun. And then what else is going on? I've got to get organising because in a year's time I'm going to be setting off, probably on the 1st of July, to head down to Bougainville, which is becoming a country, and hopefully it's only going to take me 2 months to get down there overland. Do you know what? I might be able to do it faster than that. It just all depends if things sync up correctly. Like, it should only take me a couple of days to get to Ankara, to get to Istanbul in Turkey. Getting across Turkey to Georgia, that should only take me a couple of days maybe. So 4 days, and then if I time it well and I can get the ferry across from, if there's a ferry still going across the Crimean Sea, you know, I should be able to. Let's have a look here. Hang on. Let's have a look here. What's okay, so I'm just getting Google Maps up, but I'm acutely aware of the fact that it tends to grass on you. Like, Google Maps just loves to tell everyone where you live, so I'm having to open it in a different window, and then I am having to just do this. Tomorrow's papers today. Google Maps. There we go. Let's have ourselves some googly maps. Let's make that a bit bigger, a bit wider. No, that doesn't make any difference. Okay, let's this is gonna mess things up for tomorrow, but never mind. Sorry you can't see what I'm doing, but it will become evident in a moment when I do this. There you go. So there's the UK there, and there's Liverpool. So if I right click on Liverpool and press measure distance, I'll go down to London. That'll only take 2 hours. And then I'll get the Eurostar to Paris, I think, maybe. Or maybe I'll get to Brussels. Do you know what? I'll probably let's get to Brussels. I'll get the Eurostar over to Brussels, and then I'll go to Cologne in Germany. And then from there, I know I can get a bus that goes through. Where does it go? It goes all the way down through here. I think it goes through Serbia, through Bulgaria, to Istanbul. and then I can go across to Istanbul, to Georgia, to Tbilisi in Georgia. From there, I can get over the border into Azerbaijan, and then I get over to Baku. And then there's a ferry that goes from Baku to Aktu. Well, it's an old Soviet era hulk. I don't know if it's still afloat, but if it is. And then from there, I can travel. I've got to go. It's a bit. Yeah, I've got to travel up here and then into Kavalkapakstan. This is an area of Uzbekistan. So I know I can do that and head down to Nukus. Been there before. And then if I can get the overnight bus to here and then over to Samarkand, then to Tashkent, and then I'll be. Oh no, I don't need to do this. This is bad. This is bad. Sorry, Graham. Sorry, everyone watching. No, ignore that instruction. Don't go into Uzbekistan. Don't need to go into Uzbekistan. What I can do is just save on visas and just go straight to Astana, the capital, this week, and then down to here with the border with China. And then once I get over into China, I should be able to pretty simply get down to Laos and then down into Thailand, and then get down to Singapore. Now, if I zoom in here, see this island here called Batam, and that's quite small on the screen, but it's called Batam. Can I make that bigger? Batam there. That's actually part of Indonesia, and you can get a ferry to Batam. There's ferries going each day, and then from Batam you can get another ferry, a Pelni ferry, which will take you to Jakarta, and then you can get another ferry that goes from Jakarta to it stops here in Sulawesi, and then it goes over to Papua. Maybe it doesn't go around that way. Maybe it goes around this way. I don't know. Can't remember. It's a long time ago. And that goes to yeah, sorry, where was I? I got distracted by my phone going off. And then you can get the ferry, and it goes all the way over here to Jayapura. And then I should be able to travel along here to Wewak. And then there's no road here. The road runs out at Wewak. You can see it just kind of dies here, the mouth of the Sepik River. So you got to take a little boat, which will bring you around here to Madang. Then I can take the road down to Leh. And then hopefully there's Bougainville. And then hopefully I'll be able to get a ferry or a boat or cargo ship or something over to Bougainville Island. So that is, which will be a new nation next year, I think, I hope. Anyway, so that's basically my route there. For anyone who cares. So this is going to be the trip that I'm planning to take next year. Should be a laugh. Should be a bloody good laugh. I'm hoping that's going to take me 2 months. So I need to get prepped. I need to get prepped on this mad journey of how far is it? 21,000 kilometers. There you go. On International Scouse Day, the alphabet alters. They add 5 A's. Very good. Very good. I only know, what's the joke? I only know 25. Oh, got Boba Fett again. Didn't mean to do that. There's a joke, isn't there? There's only 25 letters. What is it? I only know 25 letters of the alphabet. I don't know why. Here's a fun question. What music does your local ice cream van play? I can't remember. Oh, the one in Durham. Oh, God, what does it play? It'll come to me. Will International Scouts Day include courses on nicking wheels and radios off cars? Very funny, Warren P. Very funny. Anyway, it's Global Scouts Day. Do you know why it's not International Scouts Day? Do you want to know why? Because I couldn't get a Twitter handle that had that many letters in it. Ours play the theme from A Few Dollars More. Just check. They're saying 5 billion now, so I was wrong. But with a Venus atmosphere, plate's not working. It's a race. Is this about like whether the sun will run out of power or whether the center of the Earth will run out of magma? Magma. Don't worry, it's not going to happen for another few billion years. We're all good. We're all good here. Okay, so I'm going to leave it at that. Like I say, I've got stuff to do today. I don't know if I get to do a show tonight here in Liverpool, but I'll try and set something up for maybe 6, 7 o'clock tonight. We'll try and do something a bit fun. So it'll be great if you could join me for that. But if you can't, no, it's fine. It's fine. You know, got other things to do. But I will ask you very, very nicely if you would be so kind as to give us a like. We always like a like on this channel. Gee, I don't even have my like animation on here. This is disgraceful. This is disgraceful behavior. Just 1 second while I see if I can get a like. Can I get a like? Can I get a like in here? I'm doing this stuff while I'm streaming, and I feel like I should probably stop streaming, or at least not be streaming. I don't know if I can even find where it was a long time ago that I made my little animation with the thumb up. I mean, it's a stock animation. It's not like one that I made myself. That's a join one. Join the channel. Oh, this is a bit rubbish, isn't it? Oh well. I'll sort that out. I left a cryptic message when I was drinking last night, and I haven't got a clue what it means. This just went up. Lollock away bob bike. Lollock away bob bike. I have no idea what that means. Anyway, I'm going to try and suss out what the cryptic message past Graham sent to future Graham last night to try and suss out what actually that meant. But there you go. I always wonder if two ice cream vans meet, do they turn sideways and hiss like strange cats or lollipop men? I don't know. I know there was the ice cream wars, wasn't there? Wasn't there the ice cream van wars of Glasgow? Do you remember that? It was like people getting killed over their territory, over their patch. Was that in Glasgow? I don't know. Trump has announced his presidential library, 2 books when he's finished colouring them in. Very good. Okay, so thanks very much for joining me today. Sorry I can't have a little thing that comes up and says like the channel. So you just got to imagine there's a little, blue thumb that comes up and says like. And like I say, I might do a show later, but I'll definitely be doing a show tomorrow, Friday morning. I'll be doing a show. I'll be doing a morning brew, and then Friday afternoon, 1 o'clock, me and Phil are going to be doing morning brew. Not morning brew. The agenda, which is now going to be on Fridays, because we tried it on Mondays, didn't work very well, and I kept forgetting that it was on Monday, which wasn't very professional of me. So there you go. So hopefully I'll see you on Friday, and until then I'll say thank you so much, and until next time, hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.